Hello Year 10 and welcome to your English learning for the week beginning the 6th of July 2020. This week you'll be looking at Great Expectations by Charles Dickens and focusing on chapter 29. Before you begin your remote learning for the week, please can you have a look at the Strand 1 feedback your teacher will have left for you on Show My Homework. This week you'll be focusing on the characters of Pip and Estella in chapter 29. The work will be due on Friday the 10th of July. There are 5 activities in the booklet, as well as extra activities and a quiz on Show My Homework. For activity 1, we'd like you to recap the characters of Pip and Estella. There is a video link if you need to recap the characters in more detail. Then I would like you to give 10 top adjectives to describe each character. For example, is Pip naive and innocent? Is Estella cruel and conniving and heartless? After you have all your adjectives, I'd like you to answer the question, why does Estella dislike Pip so much? I want you to think about from the start of the novel, how has Estella perceived Pip and why does she hate him? Is it due to his class? Is it due to him being an interloper in Satter's house? You can decide there. Please answer in full sentences. For activity 2, you've been provided with a summary of what happens in chapter 29. There is a video link with a chapter analysis as well. I'd like you to watch the video and make notes, read the summary, and then answer the 10 questions below to check that you have fully understood what happens in this chapter. You are now ready to read the chapter. There is a video link of an adaptation by the BBC of this moment in the novel and an extract from chapter 29. I'd like you to read and annotate the extract and then answer the 5 questions below. Question 5 requires a longer response. This is focused on the quotation, "She treated me as a boy still, but she lured me on." What I'd like you to do for question 5 is to make a judgment. A student having read this quotation said, "Estella may have grown up and become more beautiful, but she is still the same cruel person as before." I'd like you to decide to what extent you agree with this statement. You could start with, ultimately, I agree with the statement because, or you could say you disagree, or you could say you partially agree, or somewhat disagree. It's up to you to make your own judgment here. However, I would expect you to be using quotations from the text to be able to support whatever judgment you make. For activity 4, I'd like you to look more in depth at Dickens's use of language. You're focusing on Estella quotations. In the grid, I have completed the first one for you. Here with the quotation, "She was proud and insulting and you wanted to go away from her. Do you remember?" This is said by Miss Havisham about Estella. I've given you some inference and analysis in the accompanying box. Can you do the same for the following quotations? Thinking about language techniques, what Dickens's message is, and what it says about the characters of Estella and Pip and their relationship. Your final task this week is a more creative task. For activity 5, I'd like you to imagine you're writing as Estella. I'd like you to write from her perspective at this moment in the novel, thinking about how you might feel as Estella, how you might react to Pip, how you might react to Miss Havisham. Because the novel is a Bildungsroman from the perspective of an older Pip looking back on his life, it will be interesting to see how you think Estella would feel in these moments, where we only ever get to see them from Pip's perspective usually. As with previous weeks, there are still the extra optional activities attached at the end of the booklet, where you can watch the film on YouTube or on BBC iPlayer or complete some revision cards. Please also remember to complete the quiz on Show My Homework, which is also due on Friday, and remember to submit your booklet to your English teacher. If you have any questions or queries, please be in contact on Show My Homework or via email. We really hope you are enjoying studying Great Expectations. Thank you and stay safe, Year 10. Miss Norton.